Hello everyone and welcome to the second lecture for week 12 in our Phonetics and Phonology course. In our previous lecture we discussed word stress, and in this lecture we're going to look at how we make stress in sentences. Okay, so let's start. Okay, what is a sentence stress? So sentence stress is the relative prominence of one syllable or word over others when a word is considered as a sentence constituent. The relative prominence of one syllable or word over others. يعني بيكون في عندي مقطع أو كلمة إلهم سيادة أو مبينين أكتر من غيرهم. When a word is considered as a sentence constituent لما بتكون هذه الكلمة هي جزء من جملة. تمام؟ طيب, so this is sentence stress. Relative prominence of one syllable or word over others when this word is part of a sentence. Okay? طبعا يعني بنعرف إنه في جمل اللغة الإنجليزية مش كل الكلمات يلفظوا وعليهم نفس القوة أو الإنرجي. في بعض الكلمات بتكون stressed وبعض الكلمات بتكون unstressed. بعض الكلمات بتكون بارزة أو واضحة أو تم نطقها بشكل أعلى وأوضح، كلمات تانية لأ. in this lecture we're going to look deeper into this subject, okay? And see how we stress sentences. Okay, let's now look at some basic sentence stress pattern. We're going to look at how we stress basic sentences. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's just read this note and explain as we read. The words of an English phrase, clause, or sentence do not all have the same stress. As I've just mentioned, the words in a sentence do not all have the same stress or level of stress. Okay, one of the essential features of English is that it stresses those words which convey the meaning intended by the speaker. من ميزات أو feature or characteristic of English language or sentences is that they stress words which carry meaning. تمام؟ الكلمات الجوهرية في الجملة الأساسية اللي بتحمل المعنى من السبيكر. تمام؟ If these words consist of more than one syllable, the syllable which has the word stress also stands out in the sentence. أوكي، يعني الكلمة اللي فيها ستريس بيتم لفظها بشكل أوضح، وجوا الكلمة نفسها المقطع اللي عليه ستريس برضو بيظهر أو بيبرز بشكل أوضح وأحسن في الجملة. تمام. If these words consist of more than one syllable, the syllable which has the word stress also stands out in the sentence. And the meaning of stands out means بيتميز أو يبرز. تمام. طيب, the rules discussed below are based on this fundamental principle rule. طبعا القوانين اللي لها علاقة بالسنتنس ستريس تعتمد على هذه الرول، إنه الكلمات اللي بعمل لها ستريس هي الكلمات الإيش اللي تحمل المعنى. تمام. In ordinary sentences, the words which are important for conveying a speaker's meaning are normally the so-called content words. الكلمات المفتاحية أو الكلمات التي تحمل المعنى بنسميها content words، كلمات المحتوى، rather than the function words. إذا من الأنواع في عندي content words و function words. content words كلمات تحمل معنى أو فيها معنى أو المحتوى، وfunction words اللي هي لها علاقة بالجرامر أكتر، زي مثلا الارتكلز، verb to be, and yeah, these words. تمام. Now content words, these words include طبعا هذه الليست from A to E. يعني these are types of content words. تمام. in a sentence. أول نوع هي nouns، الأسماء هي تعتبر content words. Adjectives also. And principal or main verbs، الأفعال الأساسية. Adverbs and also demonstrative and interrogative pronouns. طبعا إيش هي demonstrative pronouns؟ هما pronouns زي this or that or these or those or here and there. وإيش هي interrogative pronouns؟ هما pronouns زي who or whose or whom. okay. وطبعا which or what. إذن again demonstrative pronouns include this, that, these, those, here, there. okay. Interrogative pronouns include what, which, who, whom, and whose. okay. So these words or these kinds of words are considered content words in English. وهذا يعني إنه هذا الأنواع من الكلمات تاخد stress in English sentences. Okay, let's have a look at some examples of utterances or sentences and their stress. Okay, what do you think of the weather? What do you think of the weather? So the main words in this sentence is what, think, weather. عندي think هي verb, weather noun, what زي ما حكينا هي interrogative pronoun. okay. طيب بعدين B, this train generally arrives late. This train generally arrives late. عندي كلمة this demonstrative pronoun, train noun, generally adverb, arrives verb, late adverb. okay. C, it is very important that you come on Wednesday. عندي very adverb, important adjective, and come verb, Wednesday noun. okay. طيب D, it would have been or it would have been better to stay. عندي better adjective و stay verb. okay. He got up and went away. He got up and went away. شفنا got up and went away. الستريس بالضبط جاي على up و away لأنه زي ما شرحنا في المحاضرة السابقة إنه في الفريزال verbs الستريس بيكون على البوستبوزيشن أو الكونستيتيوانت الثاني. تمام. الجزء الثاني من الادفيرب زي ما نشوف النوت اللي هنا عندي. In the groups of words get up and go away are for all practical purposes considered compound words with stress on the second element زي ما شرحنا في المحاضرة اللي فاتت. تمام. إذا الجملة فيها two verbs الاثنين عليهم stress. Okay, auxiliary verbs. So the stress in auxiliary verbs. The general rule is that auxiliary verbs are not normally stressed. تمام. ولكن they receive stress in particular cases such as the following. تمام. إذا القاعدة الأساسية إنه auxiliary verbs are not stressed ولكن they may receive stress in particular cases such as these cases include A, in affirmative sentence for the sake of emphasis. أنا بعمل stress على الauxiliary verb في جملة مثبتة بس عشان أركز أو أأكد على شغلة. مثال it can be done. مثلا ممكن لنفترض بكونتكست. طبعا كل الستريس على الجمل يا جماعة بيكون أوضح بكونتكست. فرضا حدا بيحكي لي عن شغلة it can't be done فأنا بدي أشدد إنه لا it can be done. فهنا to emphasize this I can stress can which is auxiliary. تمام. أو I may have said so. ممكن another context حدا بيحكي لي أنت حكيتي شغلة. تمام. وأنا مش متأكدة أو أنا بدي أنهي النقاش وأحكي له أوكي ماشي يمكن أنا حكيت هيك. So I may have said so. تمام. طبعا said إحنا عارفين إيش سبب الستريس تبعها إنه هي verb. Another example I do want to thank you. I do want to thank you. حكينا إحنا إنه in English when we use this يعني when we use verbs like this, do, want، زي لما أحكي he does like chocolate، معناها أنا بأكد. تمام؟ فأنا بدي أأكد إن أنا حابة أشكرك أو بدي أشكرك. أنا يعني بدي أعطيك الإمبريشن أو أوصل لك فكرة إن أنا كتير بدي أعمل هذا الإشي. تمام؟ I do want to thank you. وأجين thank لأنها verb عملنا عليها stress. بعدين عندي do come. do come. For example, imagine you're inviting someone to your house and you're telling him or her do come. تمام؟ فنفس الإشي عملت stress على do لأنها auxiliary، هانا غرضه التأكيد. تمام؟ to emphasize something. Another case when immediately followed by the word not. لما يكون الauxiliary جاية بعده not بنعمل له stress. زي I should not have thought so. I should not have thought so. تمام؟ We have not been able to. We have not been able to. تمام؟ have و should ليه؟ لأنه إجا بعدهم not. وفي الجملتين عندي thought و able to برضو لأنهم هنا عندي verb و able to adjective. طيب another case commonly but not always when introducing a question، لما بكون مستخدماها كأداة سؤال. زي have you seen them. have you seen them. عندي seen verb و have اللي هي الauxiliary المستخدمة في السؤال. did you like it. did you like it. again did لأنها أداة السؤال و like لأنها الverb في الجملة. طيب another case when the principal verb is suppressed. إيش يعني suppressed؟ مختفي أو مفهوم ضمنيا. مثال yes I have. فرضا حدا بيسألني have you been to Egypt before. ممكن أحكي yes I have وأسكت، اللي هي الإجابة القصيرة لسؤال ال yes no question. هنا الفيرب مفهوم ضمنيا لأنه انسأل مستخدم في السؤال. تمام؟ وعندي جملة he always does. أوكي، فرضا حدا بيحكي does he clean his room every day. حد بيسأل هذا السؤال does he clean his room every day، وحد تاني بده يجاوب he always does. he always does. عندي always هنا adverb of frequency و does يعني he always زي كأني بحكي ضمنيا he always cleans his room. تمام؟ استخدمت auxiliary بدل الفعل اللي أنا حذفه ضمنيا. تمام؟ وبرضه كإجابة قصيرة على السؤال. أوكي؟ طيب I think he might. ممكن يكون حسب الكونتكست اللي سمعني بيكون فهم علي الجملة. تمام؟ مثلا حدا بيسألني فرضا will he come to the party أو is he coming to the party. حد بيسألني عن حدا هل جاي وأنا بدي أحكي له يمكن جاي I think he might. زي كأنه ضمنيا بحكي I think he might come to the party. تمام؟ فأنا هنا الفعل الأساسي محذوف، إذن الأوكسيلري هياخد stress. تمام؟ وهنا هذا برضو عندي فعل في الجملة thing. طيب بعدين finish it if you can. finish it if you can الفعل الضمني كأنه بحكي finish it if you can finish. تمام؟ فالفعل الأساسي محذوف مفهوم ضمنيا، إذن الأوكسيلري أخذ stress. The last example of course he wants to. of course he wants to. فرضا برضو في context حدا بيسأل does he want coffee. بده coffee. أنا حدا تاني بيجاوب of course he sorry another question does he want to go to the beach. عشان بس to أنا does he want to go to the beach. of course he wants to. إذا الفعل اللي أنا حذفته ضمنيا، الفعل اللي مش موجود ولكن مفهوم من سياق الكلام، هو of course he wants to go to the beach. تمام؟ وبالمناسبة in this last sentence wants to هو لا يعتبر auxiliary verb ولكن in this sentence we stress wants to لأنه برضو في suppressed syllable. Okay, sorry, suppressed verb. Okay, another case for stressing auxiliaries. Let's have a look. The various parts of the verb be are generally unstressed except when final or بيكونوا unstressed إلا إذا إجوا في نهاية الكلمة في نهاية الجملة or when followed by a pause لما بيجي في نص الكلام وبسكت بعد هذا الverb to be بيصير stressed. It will be unstressed even in final position if it is immediately preceded by its subject and that subject is stressed. ولكن لما مرات بيكون في نهاية الجملة بيصير unstressed إذا كان مسبوق بالسبجكت تبعه وهذا السبجكت كان stressed. خلينا نشوف examples. Okay. Now I don't know where he is. Okay. هنا is الverb to be جاية بآخر الجملة وخلص والفاعل تبعها ما عليه stress فهي بتكون stressed. إذا هنا word fine سوري جاية آخر كلمة بالجملة والفاعل تبعها مش stressed. طيب the fact is وبسكت followed by a pause هنا بيصير عليها stress. طيب the chances are برضو إذا بسكت بيكون عليها stress. طيب he asked what the time was. He asked what the time was. هنا اللي بياخد was رغم إنها جاية آخر الجملة ولكنها unstressed. Why? Because its subject time is stressed لأنها هنا noun جاية عليها stress إذن الverb to be بيروح عنه الstress. Clear؟ إذن الverb to be بيكون unstressed أو stressed when it comes at the end of a sentence and its subject is unstressed زي المثال الأول تيجي في نهاية الجملة بشرط إنه الفاعل تبعها يكون unstressed أو إذا إجا بعدها pause. في حالة كان الفاعل the subject of the verb to be is stressed then the verb to be is unstressed. Okay, let's now move on to another point within this topic, which is sentence stress for contrast. Okay, well, in English, contrast is an important way used by a speaker to express his or her meaning. Okay, we use contrast to express meaning. Okay, therefore, contrast always requires stress. لما أنا بعمل contrast في جملتي أو بوضح فكرة كان موجود عكسها أو بدي أركز على شيء معين in contrast to something else بستخدم الstress. When a word receives extra emphasis for the sake of contrast, its stress is increased and that of the surrounding words is then normally reduced. إذا الكلمة عشان أنا حكيتها in contrast with something else it receives stress وهذا الإشي بما إنه هذه الكلمة المعينة أخذت stress فالسترس للمقاطع أو الكلمات اللي حواليها normally reduces بيتقلص. طبعا هاي توضح هذا الكلام في السلايد الجاية هيصير الشرح أوضح مع أمثلة ولكن just the beginning of this topic. طيب also when a sentence contains a word which has been used just before إذا أنا في جملتي بس كنت مستخدمة جملة استخدمتها يعني previously it is generally not stressed the second time. إذا أنا بكرر الكلمة في كلامي في المرة الثانية ما بتاخدش stress. In such cases the contrast is not between the repeated words but between other words. الكونتراست بيكونش هو عبارة عن أو الكونتراست between the two words بيكون between some words and other words برضو later هيوضح بالأمثلة. In the sentence we have just said اللي هي هذه الجملة. In such cases the contrast is not between the repeated words but between other words. زي ما احنا شايفين في words مذكورة مرتين. في المرة الأولى حسب القاعدة اللي عمال ذكرناها، في المرة الأولى بتاخد stress، في المرة الثانية بتاخدش stress. تمام؟ In the sentence we've just said words is unstressed in the second time في المرة الثانية while other is stressed because of the contrast between the group of words and other words. ولكن بصير stress على other لأني أنا ذكرتها أنا other words in contrast to words أو repeated words أو groups of words. إن شاء الله تكون مضحك. إذا أنا في الجملة هذه in such cases كان عندي كلمة words مرتين وكان عندي مقارنة، حكت لي جملة between the repeated words وفي other words كلمات تانية، ففي عندي contrast. كلمة words في المرة الأولى عليها stress، في المرة الثانية ما عليهاش. وبرضو اللي عليها something else in this sentence that has stress is the word other لأنه أنا ذكرتها in contrast with other words. تمام؟ خلينا let's see some examples on this. حكينا إنه when I use sentences أو contrast sentences we need stress عشان نوضح الفكرة. يعني أنا في جملة زي هذه هيك بحكي in such cases the contrast is not between the repeated words but between other words. تمام؟ stress على words و stress على other. Let's see some examples. بحكي example number 1. Some people voted for Gaza, others for رفح. تمام؟ إذن others في الجملة هذه عليها stress لأنها in contrast to some people. صح؟ وعندي رفح عليها stress لأنها إجت in contrast to Gaza. تمام؟ Some people voted for Gaza, others for رفح. طبعا في verb هنا implied إنه others voted for رفح. Note that the stress on voted is clearly reduced. تمام؟ Another example, how many times have you been there? How many times have you been there? عندي وفي الإجابة بحكي 3 times. 3 times. إذا كلمة times في المرة الأولى عليها stress، في المرة الثانية ما عليهاش. اللي أخذ الستريس هو العدد وهذا إشي منطقي. تمام؟ طيب sentence B. The boys shouted to the other boys. The boys shouted to the other boys. كلمة boys الثانية ما عليها ستريس، اللي عليها ستريس هي other لأنه أنا عملت contrast between the boys و the other boys. تمام؟ C. I never gave you that book. هنا فيش no special emphasis. حكينا never هنا adverb gave verb و that اللي هي sorry demonstrative pronoun و book هي noun. ولكن خلينا نشوف sentences D and E. I never gave you that book. إذا في هنا stress on I بالسياق بعمل ستريس على I إنه أنا ما عمريش أعطيتك هذا الكتاب، يمكن غيري أعطاك إياه. I never gave you that book. تمام؟ إذا شوفوا الستريس كيف صار بناء على المعنى اللي أنا بدي أوصله، إنه أنا ما أعطيتكش إياه، يمكن مع الجملة بتعطيني معنى إنه يمكن في حدا تاني أعطاك إياه، المهم أنا ما أعطيتكاش. طيب جملة إيه I never gave you that book. I never gave you that book. أنا ما أعطيتكاش هذا الكتاب، يمكن أنا بدي أحكي لك أعطيتك كتاب تاني. تمام؟ So using stress يعني it depends on how you sorry on the meaning you want to deliver. تمام؟ فهنا الemphasis is on that to say that you've never gave someone a specific book but maybe you gave them يعني another book. أو هنا إذا الإمفاسايز على I معناته إنه بدك توضح إنه أنت ما عمركش أعطيتهم هذا الكتاب، يمكن حدا تاني غيرك أعطاه. تمام؟ Okay, let's see now some unstressed words in English. So in English, certain words don't have stress in sentences except for special contextual reasons. لأسباب إلها علاقة بالسياق. طبعا بعض الكلمات بيكون أو بالغالب ما بتاخدش ستريس إلا في حالات خاصة إلها علاقة بسياق الكلام، وحكينا إنه الستريس كتير مرتبط بالسبيكر والمسج اللي بده يوصله، زي ما شفنا عمال في السلايدات اللي راحوا. إذا أنا في جملة I never gave you that book، أنا مركزة على الكتاب إنه ما أعطيتكاش هذا الكتاب مش غيره، أو I never gave you that book، أنا ما أعطيتك إياه، يمكن حدا تاني أعطاك إياه. تمام؟ طيب now let's see some of the words in English that don't take or don't have stress. The first case, the word one, when used as an indefinite pronoun and modified by the indefinite article or by some, any or every. يعني لما بستخدم كلمة one مع some, someone or مع any وبتصير anyone أو مع every وبتصير everyone. Let's see some examples. The first example, I do not have a pen. Can you lend me one? I do not. I do عملنا عليها stress لأنه جاي بعدها not، وعندي pen noun. Can you lend me one؟ ولend هنا verb. تمام؟ طبعا هنا هي مستخدمة ك indefinite pronoun، ضمير يعود على مين؟ على pen، زي ما بحكي can you lend me a pen. Okay. Another example, anyone who saw it is asked to report. حطينا الستريس على الجزء الأول من الكلمة اللي هو any مش one. إذا لما one تيجي مع any, every أو some ما بتاخدش الستريس، اللي بياخد الستريس هي الجزء الأول من الكلمة. Anyone who saw it is asked to report. طبعا هنا عندنا 3 أفعال، so asked, report عليهم ستريس في الجملة. طيب there is someone at the door. There is someone at the door. one هنا ما أخدتش ستريس، اللي أخدتها هي some، وهنا do عندي noun أخد ستريس. And the last example, in a small village everyone knows everyone else. In a small village everyone knows everyone else. إذن every the stress is on the first part, not on one. Okay? Okay, other cases include the reflexive pronouns when used as objects. وحكينا نعرف إنه reflexive pronouns are himself, herself, themselves, yourself, yourselves. Okay? Examples, he hurt himself. Himself is an object. It's unstressed in this case, and the only stress in this sentence is on the verb hurt. Well, another similar example, they killed themselves. The same, themselves is an object in this sentence, so it's unstressed. ولكن reflexive pronouns are stressed when they are used to emphasize something. When يعني a reflexive pronoun is stressed when it is an emphatic personal pronoun. Example, he went there himself. هنا استخدام himself هو للتأكيد. هنا هي emphatic personal pronoun مش object. ففي هذه الحالة in this case the reflexive pronoun هنا emphatic personal pronoun is stressed. وطبعا الستريس زي ما بنحكي هو على appropriate syllable of the word. The syllable in himself that is stressed is the second syllable. تمام؟ يعني he went there himself. تمام؟ طيب other cases I can mention another example. لما بحكي مثلا I made the cake myself. تمام؟ made verb the cake object و myself هو emphatic pronoun عشان أأكد إني أنا اللي عملتها أو لحالي عملتها. In this case I stress myself. تمام؟ في another example of unstressed words is the words each other, such as in they like each other. Each other يعني these two words when they come together are not stressed. In this sentence the only stressed word is the verb like. And another case, the words be going to or is going to. تمام. Okay, example is what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So هنا في الجملة هذه are you going to is not stressed. الstress جاي على what و do. Do طبعا هي الverb تبعي main verb in this sentence or question. What هي interrogative pronoun وحكينا interrogative pronouns are stressed. Okay, some other cases. The words on and forth in the English equivalents for and so on and so forth when we use these expressions in sentences and so on and so forth, we don't stress these words. Also, the word so when used after a verb such as in I think so, I told you so. تمام? In this case, so is not stressed. In these two sentences, the two verbs think and told are the only stressed words. Also, the words and but are not generally stressed. Example, John and Jack are old. John is old, but Jack is young. تمام? John is old, but Jack is young. So and in this sentence and but in this sentence are not stressed. Okay? In this sentence, by the way, the first sentence, we stress John, Jack, and old. Okay? طيب, another example, adverbs in final position when preceded by a stressed object. Adverbs in final position when preceded by a stressed object. الادverb لما بيجي في نهاية الجملة ويكون قبله stressed object. زي put your things on. Put your things on. عند الادverb on جاي قبله things وهي stressed. تمام. إذن on is not stressed in this case. And another example, he lit the fire out. He lit the fire out. Okay. Also هنا adverb preceded by fire. This word is stressed, so this adverb is not stressed. The two stressed words are the verb lit, the noun fire. And here, just a quick last note. I don't want you to get confused regarding on and out. We've just mentioned that these are adverbs, so don't get confused. احنا بالانجليزي هدول on and out can be used as adverbs or prepositions. طبعا كلكم اكيد استغربتوا وحكيتوا انه هدول حروف جر فكيف بنحكي عنهم adverbs, بس they are used as adverbs. تمام. in this case they are unstressed. وطبعا حتى لما بيكونوا حروف جر في الغالب they are unstressed. Okay, the last case on unstressed words in English is this one. In sentences with final preposition plus pronoun, at the end of a sentence you have preposition plus pronoun. The pronoun is not stressed unless, طبعا زي ما بنحكي, unless the context demands special emphasis. إلا لو كان الكونتكست بده ساعتها it depends on what you want to say. تمام? With the meaning you want to deliver. But generally, and in these examples, we're going to see how pronouns at the end of sentences are not stressed if they are preceded by prepositions. Okay? Okay, let's see some examples. The first example, get rid of it. Get rid of it. هاي عندي pronoun يسبق preposition. No stress neither on the pronoun nor on the preposition. Okay, the stress is on the verb, وهنا the verb is يعني composed of 2 words, and the stress is on the second word. Get rid of it. تمام. He started to talk to me. وهي عندي to me. Neither the preposition nor the pronoun, and the only stressed words are started and talk, اللي هما 2 verbs. Another example, it's very good for you. For you, again, not stressed. She came with us. With us. الpronoun هنا مسبوق بحرف جر, إذن no stress. What shall we do with it? What shall we do with it? طبعا هذا زي ما حكينا what is an interrogative pronoun, so it's stressed. do هي المين verb عندي. With it, a preposition plus pronoun, no stress. We spoke to them. To them, again, no stress. Well, I wanted you to write about it. I wanted you to write about it. About it. Again. بعدين, look at them. At them. Again. It's not the one I borrowed from you. Again, from you. It is interesting to read about it. He need not be so rude about us. He need not be so rude about us. Okay, so عندي verb وعندي adjective, the only 2 stressed words. The last example, this is not quite the moment for it. Okay, for it, again, preposition plus pronoun, no stress. Okay, وعندي الستريس على كلمة moment لأنها noun. Okay, this is the end of our lecture. I hope everything is clear, and if you have any questions, we can discuss them in our next Zoom lecture. Thank you, and see you then.